What's up, Fever Nation? YouTube. Now, the WNBA has just released a statement regarding the incident alleged to have taken place by anonymous sources. Have you noticed they really have not said where the story came from? They just said who it was directed towards. Well, we do know it was directed towards Angel Reese, but no one has said who heard it. Who heard it? You have an entire fan base disparaged on national TV, on all of these news shows, by all of these former WNBA players who wanted to believe that the story was true. They didn't even wait. See, journalism is when you hear a story. Journalism, this is how journalism was explained to me, the very fundamental of journalism. Someone walks in a room from outside, you see that their clothes are wet, okay? And they say, it's raining outside. And before you say, okay, wow, it's raining. No, you go outside of the door, stand in the rain, and then come back inside and say, it's raining. That's journalism in its most fundamental form. Now, flip that to this situation here. Everybody ran with the story. They wanted to be, media wanted to be the first to report rather than the first to be accurate. That was the problem here. I'm going to play a tape of Chiney Agwumake, who had a lot to say about this.
Hey everybody, I'm sure you've seen the WNBA statement on the investigation, and I want to address this with the same energy I did the first time, because if you really know me, I always try my absolute best to uplift the WNBA, to celebrate the amazing players, the coaches, and of course the fans. That is something that is at the core of everything that I do. But if you know me, you know I'm not afraid to say I can do better. I am sorry that my message was in the heat of the moment, because when I initially spoke on the topic, it really came from a place of care. It was based on firsthand conversations with people very close to the situation who raised real concerns, and they told me what they had experienced. And I felt like it was important and it was necessary to acknowledge those allegations and also voice those experiences. Now, in the process, however, I totally recognize that it may have impacted fans in a way that I did not intend, and I am sorry. I'm also happy that the WNBA treated the matter with the utmost seriousness, followed through with the investigation, and I understand that having a platform comes with a responsibility, and I do not take that lightly. So as our league continues to grow, I am going to grow with it. And I am so committed to be better in how I share perspectives and grow alongside the game that I truly love and adore. I mean, some of my favorite memories as a pro was playing in Indiana, and I truly believe that WNBA, we have the most passionate fans, and I'm grateful for our community. I hope you know that's who I am. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.
Yes. And she wasn't the only one. There were teammates of Caitlin Clark that weighed in, talked about the how this should not be tolerated. The story was made. I did a video called "It Was All One Big Lie," and I'm gonna post it at the end of this video. And I knew then it was a lie. First of all, the source was my issue. If the source was you know who, victimhood mentality queen, victimhood mentality queen. If it came from her, I knew it was false. Here's another way I knew it was false, and I mentioned this on this video almost a week ago. No one else heard it. No one came when they interviewed the coach during the post-game presser. They asked him, when did you hear about this racial slur being alleged? He said, my first knowledge of it was in this interview. I'm just hearing about it right now.
When did you become aware that there was hate speech that happened?
I think when everyone else did. I think that, it's it's something that we heard about, and so again, we're just forthcoming with anything that the league is able to do in the investigation.
Now that was Coach Marsh, Tyler Marsh, a day or two after the alleged event had taken place. He says he heard about it when it was brought to his attention. Now think about that. No player said anything on the way to the locker room, from the bench after the game. Hey coach, did you hear about what was? Nobody said anything like that. And still today, in light of in the wake of this investigation, who was the person that heard it? Who heard it? Why have they not interviewed this person or brought this person to some level of accountability? You now have what you have now is putting the toothpaste back in the tube. And you know how literally impossible that is. They took way too long to nip this in the bud. They waited almost 10 days after this alleged event. And now people are festering with the previous accusations that were alleged against the entire Fever fan base. They were saying stuff to the extent that it's not safe for Angel Reese to play here. Miss Drama Queen. Yeah, you know how Angel Reese is after a loss. She turns everything, she changes the entire narrative from basketball to victimhood. That's been her MO since that LSU game. Look at when she won the championship, she was extra. She lost the next year, she turned it to victimhood. How she's been marginalized and sexualized and all of this stuff. And this is no different. See it for what it is. So now you have an entire fan base fractured based on a lie that the WNBA knew was a lie when it was first reported, but they waited this long to fix it, to put out a statement. Look how quickly they released the first statement before they released the second statement. Well, we're left to pick up the pieces, Fever Nation. And it all starts today without Clark. Now we're going to see what the league is like without Clark. This is what they wanted. This is what everybody in the league who felt marginalized because of all the attention Clark was getting last season. Now we're about to see how profitable the league is going to be. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think. I'm out.